Hi everyone, my name is Malala and you can catch me on Tweak India.
Can Malala ever be a normal student? Do people let you be normal?
Becoming kind of well known at a very young age was challenging. I did not really have anyone to guide me as well, so I had to learn everything myself. I was not like a TV celebrity. I was not like a TV actress. So like even the fame and the support I was getting was quite different. It was like, Malala, you are an inspiration to us. We admire you. So for me, it was like, thank you so much for your support and thank you for standing up with me. And if they would ask for a picture, yes, of course, why not? It's slightly different. So I did not ever treat it as like a celebrity fame or anything like that. But in college, I was a bit worried, overwhelmed how it was going to be. And but in the end, it was fine in Oxford. I'm sure they have like celebrity students or before as well.
Are you a good student? You look like you're a good student. You've always been a good student. Yeah.
That's a very positive thing to hear. That's how I want to keep it, and I'm sure my parents also think I'm a good student. We have 3 semesters, and one semester is 8 weeks long, and in our second and third year, we have like 16 essays in just one semester. So like that's 2 essays a week, and there's a lot of reading to do. There's just so much work to do. So you have to like balance it out because you also want to have fun. And if you do not have
my next question. What does Malala do for fun? What do you do for fun? Do you like just ever sit and watch shows all weekend? Do you eat only dessert for the weekend? What do you do?
For me, fun means spending time with friends. Whether it's going to a restaurant and having lunch together, whether it's going to a movie or something. And also there are lots of like societies in Oxford. I sometimes go to cricket clubs, and I have played like once or twice for my college as well.
When you were a little girl at the time when the only thing you have to worry about is a teacher writing complaints to your parents, you were getting horrific death threats. What was that like to get death threats at 14 and 15?
It was announced on the FM radio by the Paragon person that from the 15th of January 2009, no girl can go to school.
How old were you then?
I was 11. It was a shutdown on school because they did not believe in the rights of women. They did not believe in the education of girls. For a woman not to be able to go to take her education means that she's more vulnerable to be getting married at an early age. She's vulnerable to sexual abuse or domestic violence. She's more vulnerable to becoming a mother while she's still at her teenage, while she herself is a child, and her dreams are taken away from her. And for me, like that life was the worst that I could ever imagine. So that's why I started speaking out for my right to go to school and for the rights of all girls in Swat Valley.
You started writing a blog also at that point anonymously for the BBC.
Yes.
Did you at that point, and I think it was your father who encouraged you to do that, did you at any point realize the risk that you were taking while doing that?
To be honest, no, because we were all living in a risk. We were all living in a conflict, and I think it's hard to like explain it that every night when I was sleeping in fear because that the Taliban can knock on your door and just get into the house and like kill anyone, and that's what they were doing there. If we did not speak out, nothing was going to change, and we would have been living in that situation forever.
For a 12-year-old girl, 11-year-old girl to come to this realization that I need to speak up for everyone, not just me, to the quantum leap. So there has to be someone in your life who really guided you towards that space.
My father was my inspiration. He had 5 sisters and none of them could go to school. So he believed that education is empowerment for women, like a feminist in action, like a feminist man in action. Yeah. Elderly people are talking in a family. Usually nobody would listen to a child, and like he would always
and a girl at that. Yeah.
He pay full attention, tell everybody keep quiet because the child is speaking right now. The role of men is crucial in this because that's where the problem lies in the end. I think he's spreading the message that giving them an education because you help her, but you also help the whole community.
On the day that you were attacked, what was it like? It was a normal day. You got up. You were in a school bus going to school.
Yes, the school bus started driving, and I don't remember anything.
Oh my
God. The next thing I remember is waking up in a hospital in the UK, in Birmingham. So what my friends have told me is that the school bus was stopped by 2 boys, and one was talking to the bus driver at the front and one came to the back. And he said, "Who's Malala?" Most of the girls were covering their faces, but I was not covering my face. And some girls like looked at me because they were like surprised, like what is happening? He was gonna be figured out. He fired a few bullets, and one of the bullets hit me kind of on the left side of my forehead. And then the bullet hit my friend who was sitting next to me. And I asked my best friend Muniba, she was like my school friend, and I asked her like, what did I do? Did I scream? Or did I say anything? And she said like, no. She said like, you were just like looking at the guy, you were just staring at him, and you were holding my hand so tight that I could feel the pain for weeks. And she said that as soon as like, he fired the bullet, he fell in my lap. So I think,
Oh God, okay.
these are like, for me, it's just a
horrific.
story about like, this girl Malala. For me, it's so hard to relate to it because I do not remember, and I think it's good that I don't remember.
So this horrific thing happens to you, and after that, did you ever think that, I've done my share, I've literally faced bullets, and now somebody else has to go on with this work, I'm done, or I really don't want to go on, and I mean, you were in coma for a week after that.
I did not know what was happening outside. The nurses, they showed me like, they brought this kind of basket of cards and letters, and I was like, so people know that something has happened to me, and like they're writing me cards, and like there's a card from Japan and India and Mexico and America. Like I feel like, what is happening? And then I realized that wow, like I have received this global support.
So much love from all over the world.
All over the world. I realized that now I have the opportunity to highlight the issue of girls' education globally. Together with the World Bank Malala Fund, we did this research, and it shows that if we educate all girls and give them 12 years of education, that adds up to $30 trillion to the global economy. We need to remind world leaders again and again that when you invest in girls' education, that's the most sustainable economic investment we can ever do.
You have no problem in reminding world leaders about anything. You went to Obama and then talked to him about drones. You don't seem intimidated by anybody. People are intimidated by you. Are world leaders intimidated by the Nobel Prize winning Malala?
Not sure. But I think all I know is that when I go and meet them, I will highlight the issues that girls are facing. I will make clear what my stance is on these different issues, from drone attacks to women's rights. And it has been challenging because, some world leaders are then not willing to meet you.
Okay.
Because of what you say to them and how you challenge them.
You won the Nobel Peace Prize. You were nominated first and then you won. Where were you? How did you find out that you won the Nobel Peace Prize?
The year in which it was like really like all over the media, and there were petitions, and like that was in 2013, and I did not win that year, and I was not expecting it to win that year. Then the next year in 2014, like that kind of news and everything had gone down, and like my dad was a bit like, maybe it could happen, but I said no, I'm going to school. So I went to school. I was in my chemistry lesson, and then one of my school's deputy head teacher, she came into the class, and she calls you when you are in trouble.
Okay.
So like what have I done? Yeah. And so she took me outside and she said like, Malala, you have won the Nobel Peace Prize. And I said, wow. And I was like, thank you. Like you just do not know how to respond to your teacher.
Yeah.
The school principal, they called an assembly, and that was the first time I spoke in my school. I was really nervous. And then I went back to my civics class, and I said I have to finish my school day. I cannot leave the school. So finished my whole school day, and then after that we did a press conference. I think for me, like winning the Nobel Peace Prize together with Kailash Satyarthi from India, who has worked for children in forced labor and children in slavery for his whole life, it was a great moment because we both felt that it was given to children that year. It was given to the issues that children and young girls and boys are facing all over the world.
Being a student, doing your activism, writing books, you just wrote We Are This Place. How do you manage, literally time management, how does that work?
It is hard, I'll be honest. It is very difficult. I am clear in a few things. One is that when I'm in school, when I have to be in school, and no travel, nothing during that time. But as soon as I get a break, then I start traveling, and whether that's going to the G7 summit or G20, and going to Ethiopia, Nigeria, Kenya, and Lebanon to highlight the issues that girls are facing, listening to their stories, meeting them, and also starting a project in those places, supporting the local activists who are focusing on girls' education, and working as a teacher for girls' education internationally as well, who want the world to be a better place, and like sometime are not of the mistakes that, nothing is happening and things are getting worse. Things are getting worse in some places, but it's also important for us to remember, what things were like 50 years ago, a century ago, and how much has changed. So things are changing rapidly, and just seeing how much we have achieved in terms of progress for human development. We still have a lot to do, but more and more children are getting educated, and women's health is improving, and life expectancy is increasing as well.
Thank you, Malala.
Yes, thank you so much.